तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं तथा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So welcome all of you. So today is our session 8. And what is the title? Who is the Supreme Controller? The Supreme Controller. So we will start the session by paying our obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. So far we have gone through the first 7 sessions. And today, basically, last time we discussed that we are not the controller. Who is the controller? It's the modes, right? And our association that defines, primarily that defines that what action we will end up taking. Right? It is the modes of nature. And let's see that are the modes of nature independent or they are working under someone's supervision, right? So we have talked about many things, right? Our activities, how we can attain happiness, how to be successful. But let's see, who is on top of everything, right? Who is actually controlling everything and who can actually help us, right? So today's topic is the Supreme Controller. Now, does anyone know who is the Supreme Controller before we start? Krishna, right? Any other name? Huh? Pardon? Bhagwan, right? Okay. Pardon? I'm not able to hear. We ourselves are the Supreme Controller. What's your name? What's your name? Atul Sahu. Yeah. So Atul Sahuji says that we are also the Supreme Controller because we are part and parcel of Krishna. Right? So yes, we have certain. We are part of the decision-making circle, but who is the Supreme is when we are talking about the Supreme Controller, there has to be one. Otherwise, all of us will become it will be chaos. So we need one supreme. When we talk about supreme, that means one. Right? So this is going to be the agenda. That who is that supreme, right? And how it, our concept of that, we are also part of that, supremacy. So we'll try to correlate it with what goes on in our world, in our professional lives, business life, personal life. And some people think that there's someone supreme, but that's because supreme is present everywhere. So that supreme is kind of an energy or light, right? So let's discuss: is that supreme is a light or a personality? And then what does the scripture say about that? And then in India, when we go to temple, there is a perception that there should be murti of Ganesha, Shiva, Durga, right? Krishna, and others. So there are so many gods. So is there many gods or is there one? Right? One supreme, or they're sharing the supremacy. With Atulji saying that we also are part of that. Then what does the scripture say? What does other demigods, other gods, so-called, what we perceive them as gods, talk about who is supreme, right? And why that God is all attractive, right? Someone who is accepted as supreme needs to be attractive. Otherwise, no one is going to accept the supremacy. So the supreme should have the power to attract everyone, right? So we'll discuss, and as always, we'll end up by practical tips to take some message our home to implement. So we'll start with the concept of boss, right? The concept of boss, and here is Krishna. Now let's go to our day-to-day life. What is the general image of boss? What is his image? When we talk about our boss in the company, what is the image? The boss is leader. Sometimes, or almost most of the time, they end up exploiting us, right? Exploiting in what sense? Do this, do this. Just last week I was talking to my boss and he was saying, "How are you doing?" And I said, "I'm doing good." "Okay, if you are doing good, I'll allocate you 2 more projects." Then in his leadership meeting, my colleagues were there, and I said, "Never tell to him that you are doing good." Otherwise, you will end up getting few more projects. They're authoritative. They want authority, and sometimes they show like they own that authority. Right? As leaders, we all know, and they may be rude also. Right? Not that they are very compassionate. Right? They are very rude at times, right? Very arrogant, proud. Right? So these are images of a boss forces us to think also that our supreme controller, when we talk about God, most of the people, why they go to temple? Thinking that if they don't go to temple, this thing will happen. They go out of fear. Yeah. Because they think if they don't go, something may go wrong. Most of you see, that fear factor, what we develop in our day-to-day life, that fear factor we also relate the Supreme God also with that fear. That if you don't do this, this thing will happen. It's not out of love that we approach God. Why? Because in day-to-day life, this is what we see. There is a fight for supremacy. And which is why we think that there are many gods and many of them are fighting for supremacy. And somehow some of the Quranic stories also highlight those things. Right? But then let's see, right? And because every one of us want to be boss, because we are tired of working under someone. We are frustrated by being exploited. Right? So we think if I become the manager, if I become the director, then then that's all. I will no more have to listen to anyone. But that's not the case. Yes, we will always be under someone, right? Even CEOs, they are under the board, and board are under the, they are driven by the shareholders, right? So everyone, right? Yeah. So that is the case. And why do people want to become boss? We just discussed, right? Because to have some control in our hand, right? What more? Decision making forward, right? We don't want to be working under someone because it is a feeling of being exploited, right? So all those reasons are there. Right? No one wants to be subordinate. And this is the image we generally see, right? And that is why we develop that image of that supreme controller also. That person who is the supreme controller is there to chastise us, to punish us, not to hurt and love us. Unfortunately, that is the image we have built. But that's totally wrong image. The image is like something like this, you know, that supreme controller, the supreme God is loving, is caring. And that is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. In the 5th chapter, that is, he says that, you know, he's the boss, he's the supreme controller. But then he says something more. So now, where is the mic? Where the cordless mic? So now who is going to read this Sanskrit verse? Recite the Sanskrit verse. Okay, we have marked the we'll get the mic to her. So what's your name of it? Very nice. Yeah, you can read the translation.
A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate benefactor of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and nourisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries.
Thank you. Let me clap for one time. Thank you very much. So this verse is known as the peace formula. You know, what does this verse end up in? Yatva ma shanti rachati. Shanti, right? Peace. Knowing this, you will be in peace. Knowing what? That I am the benefactor of all the austerities and sacrifices. Bhokta Ram, I am the Bhokta of what? Yag tapasa. Yagya and tapasya. All austerities and sacrifices. Sarva Loka Maheshwara. I am the proprietor of all the planets, everything. I am the planet. Suhriday Sarva Bhutana. Although, you know, I am the benefactor of everything. I am the owner and the proprietor of everything. Nonetheless, I am your well-wishing friend, which gives us a lot of solace. He is not a exploiting boss. He is a loving. He loves us. He says, Surya Sarva Bhuta. Not that he loves only Indians. Not that he loves only, IT intellectuals of Bangalore. He loves everyone, right? Not only that he loves only human beings. He loves even animals, whom some of them we see are killed for our tongue, right? So he loves everyone and everyone, without exception. And one who knows this will be in peace. Okay? So here, the first verse for the day clearly says, who is the Supreme Lord? Krishna himself highlights, right? That he actually is the owner of everything. Everything we see around us. Can we say that I own the sun? Did Krishna demonstrate that he owns the sun in one of his pastimes in Mahabharata? He showed, right, in Kurukshetra, right? And water, What did Ram Bhagwan do when he wanted to cross the ocean? He showed. You listen, and he was not listening. And he got just by his eyes, right? He could show that he is the owner. So he is the owner of everything. He said, right? Srila Prabhupada. So Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. He is also owner of our brain, which we are so proud of, especially in Bangalore IT. Right? I can do this. Yeah. Right? You can do this. Why? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that it is I who gives you ability. It is I who gives you ability. He gives you everything. Your mother and father have the way you people work on softwares or hardwares. Did our mother and father work on our brain or our body when you were in the womb? No. They just gave you the place. Then who made the brain? And one cell of that brain is millions times more complicated than this cell, right? One cell of our brain is millions times more complicated than this cell. And how many IT technicians work on this cell, right? So, what to talk about the brain who is working on this body, right? So we have to understand the supremacy of that supreme controller. Now, what do you see here? There's a house under, and it belongs to someone. And there are masons and laborers and carpenter, electrician, plumber working on this, right? Now, if the plumber and the electrician says, I will take, the kitchen, and the civil contractor says, I will take the master bedroom, and electrician says the terrace belongs to me. Then what is Navindu Prabhu going to do? Navindu Prabhu said, I provided you the money for everything, and this civil contractor, electrician, carpenter, plumber, electrician is saying that they will take 1 month because they are constructing. Are they all right? No. The house belongs to one who has provided the money, right? So that is important for us to understand. Sometimes we say that this belongs to me, this belongs to me, but it actually all belongs to someone who has provided the sun, the light, the water, the air, the earth, and our own brain. So it all belongs to him, right? And that person is Surya Sarvabhutana. That person who has provided this all is our loving Father, right? And what is it? So there is a notice that by Basraj Prabhu, IBC lift is not working. The lift of this building is not working properly. Requesting to use stairs. So they're working on this issue, maybe soon resolved. So what is written here? Unconditional Krishna's unconditional love does not mean that whatever we do is loved, but it means that whatever we do, we are loved. Now, a father, he has 2 children. One is an obedient child, and another is a naughty. Whatever the case, the father will end up loving both of them. Even when the father is chastising the naughty child, it does not mean that the father doesn't love. Right? It is out of care. It is out of love that the father is chastising. Right? Similarly, God, out of our love, out of love for us, sometimes he has to. Why do we chastise? We chastise our kids or our juniors, even in companies. We try to help them to overcome their gaps with the aim that we are trying to help them. Right? Similarly, Krishna sometimes does that. Right? It is to help us. Now, this is what Krishna says about himself. Right? And this is just one verse we have put forward. There are many verses in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam also. Endless verses. which highlights that Krishna is the Supreme. Now, there is a question which we thought we would bring up. Is that Supreme God a person or an impersonal light energy? Right? What do you think? Okay, so we'll raise hands. Who think that Supreme is an energy, a light? But we'll raise hand. 1, 2, 3, right? Maybe 30-40%, right? Then who of you think that Supreme God is a person? There's some people are reflecting in both. Right? Okay. So this is a valid topic to be put in place, right? So when there is a confusion, those things should be discussed and resolved, right? So now we see 40-60 here. Okay. So after discussing this, we'll see what is the ratio of what. Okay. So this verse is from Bhagavatam. Right? This verse is from the 2nd chapter of 1st canto of Bhagavatam. So who is the lucky one who is going to recite this verse? Nobody will answer. What is your name, Flo? Yes,
Padanti Tattvavidas Tattvam Jnanam Advayam Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan Iti Sabhyati
Shabdeti, right? Translation.
Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma or Bhagavan. Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thank you. Thank you, Prashant. So this verse says that the supreme absolute truth is perceived in 3 different categories. What are those 3 different categories? Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So we had someone who said, many devotees here said that supreme controller is Krishna. Someone said, Bhagavan, right? So here that Bhagavan what has come. Right? So supreme absolute truth is realized in 3 categories: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. And what are these? Right? So for example, who has been to Chikmagalur or hill station? So if you look from far distance, you'll see that there is a layer of carpet, like all those green, right, mountains look like a layer of carpet. And from distance, you may not notice if there are trees, what kind of trees and all, right? You don't see them. You see everything like uniform green. But when you go little closer, what do you see? You can identify, oh, this is coconut. This is banana. In South India, most of them, but there are many, right? So you can identify, oh, this is, and if you come even more close, what you can see, there is variegedness. Some animals also, some birds living here, some people can be around, right? You can specifically see. So as you come closer, you get more clarity, right? Now there is one more example, is of the sun also. Inside your house in the morning, you see sun rays coming, right? And then if you go outside in the balcony or terrace, you see there is sun as a base. But in our scriptures, they said that sun is a planet which is also ruled by someone, right? Vivashwan. So as you go closer, you get more clarity, right? And same are about these 3 categories of absolute truth. So the first category is Brahman. What we perceive as, his all pervasiveness is an energy, is a light. He is present everywhere, right? We say that Supreme Lord is present everywhere. How is he present everywhere? Through his energy, right? Through his energy. He is present everywhere, right? But if you go a little more closer, more closer to the Supreme Absolute Truth. Which form of Absolute Truth do you see? If you go more closer, you see the Paramatma form, right? You see the Paramatma form. But if you go even more closer, What will you see? Bhagavan. That is the difference. And this is explained here in Bhagavad Gita 14.27. So who is going to recite the Sanskrit verse? Okay, we have Prabhuji at the back. Chair. So what is your name? Ram Kumar. You're coming for the first time? Yeah. Otherwise you are attending online. Okay. Please read. So you can switch on slides like this. And what's it? Okay, you can read it.
Hare Krishna. Brahmano hi pratishtha amrutasya vayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukasya kanti tasya cha. And I am the basis of the impersonal
Yeah.
Brahman, which is immortal, imperishable, and eternal, and is the constitutional position of ultimate happiness.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. So here, Krishna is specifically highlighting that what is the relation of the two. You know, what is the relation of the two is that Krishna says, I am the basis of that impersonal Brahman. That means, you know, from Krishna comes, you know, his bodily effulgence is what we see is energy present everywhere in the form of Brahman, right? And thereafter, this has also been confirmed. So who is the creator of this universe? Who is our supreme engineer? Brahmaji. So let's see what he has to say. Right? So we should also listen to Brahmaji. Right? So who is going to recite this one? This is from Brahma Samhita. Special one. Sahasranju Prabhu is there.
I was told the planet Lord, whose appearance is the source of the undifferentiated Brahman mentioned in the Upanishad. Differentiated from the infinity beauties of the mundane universe appears as the infinite, limitless Brahma.
So here Brahmaji clearly says that the Brahman is what? Right? The Brahman, that effulgence is what? It is bodily effulgence of Krishna. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Ajam. Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagatanta Koti. That is Prabha. Prabha is effulgence. Prabhavata is source of effulgence. And all that is coming from Govinda. When you go to Tirupati, what do you call? Govinda. Right? So Govinda, Krishna is the source. Now, let's discuss even for this concept, there are many verses. You know, just because this is an introductory session, we are just highlighting some of them. Have you been contacted by devotees to ask you, like, do you want to participate in level 2 sessions? Right? How many of you have been contacted? Raise your hands. Many of you, right? So it is there that we discuss in smaller groups. See, here it is one way. Right? Here it is like kind of lecture. But there it will be a group discussion. We can discuss small, small 10 to 50 devotees will be sitting. And there, here it is 9 sessions. Can you understand the entire Vedic knowledge in 9 sessions? It is just it's like a trailer. Giving you a trailer of what it is. Right? There, in the 50 lecture second, you can understand what it is. And then you can apply that in your life. That is where you will see tangible difference in your life. So here, now the next topic is, if there are one God or many. So now, going back to the previous one, so see, yes, Brahman is the bodily effulgence of Krishna, right? So that's the most supreme form of absolute truth is the Bhagavan form, right? And the Bhagavan, who is the Bhagavan? It is Krishna, right? So now, those who are saying that energy, that supreme absolute truth is energy, they are not wrong, right? It's not that they are wrong, but their understanding, what Prabhupada says, is limited. The full and clear understanding is to realize when we see the body, the transcendental body, that body is not like our body, made up of bone, muscles, blood. No, that body is Sat Chit Anand. There is a verse, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sat Chit Anand Vigraha Anadar Adi Govinde Sarva Karana Karana. This verse is also recited by Brahmaji in Brahma Samhita. So there also he says, there are many Ishwars, many controllers, but Parameshwar is Ishvara Parama Krishna Sat Chit Anand. Then he says that his body is what? Body is not made up of, he doesn't say it is made up of muscle, bone, and right blood. It is made up of Sat Chit Anand Vigraha. It is made up of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. It is transcendent. You all can come. So that body is transcendental, and he's the controller of everything, and he's the cause of Sarva Karana Karana. So we have to understand now. So now we will raise hand. So how many gods are there? There is one God. Who will like to raise hand for one God? There may be 20%, gradually increasing, maybe 35-40%. Right? And there are many gods. Many gods mean many controllers. Yeah? It is correct. Devi Devta ko Bhagwan 33 times. है ना? So नीरज जी कह रहे हैं 33 times. Right. So now let's see what scriptures have to say. Okay. So are there many gods or one God? One God is in different form. Right? It seems there is like a supermarket of yeah. So let's see what scriptures have to say. Again from Bhagavad Gita. This verse is from 15th chapter. So who is going to recite this verse? Who is the lucky one? Namra we have already recited. So we will try to give one chance please. Uday Prabhu, give it to Uday Prabhu.
वेदांत सर्वैरहं एव वेद्य वेदांत वेदविद्येव चार्य. So I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known indeed. I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas.
So here Krishna says, Vedes cha sarve aham eva vedyo. That I am to be known by study of Vedas. Earlier he said what? Bhoktaram eva tapsam sarva lok maheshwar sudhay sarva bhutanam yatva. Then he is talking about Vedas. What does Vedas say? Because from the study of Vedas, it is I who is to be known. Right? And then what does he say again? Mata parataram nanya chetasti dhananjaya Mayi sarvam idam protam sutre madikanaiva. What does that say? Mata parataram nanyam, that there is no one who is superior to me. Mata parataram nanyam, kinchit asti dhananjaya. Right? Mayi sarvam idam protam sutre. O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls rest on a thread. There is no truth superior to me. Here Krishna is saying that I am the supreme absolute truth. Now what Brahmaji said, Ishvara Parama Krishna. Right? Similarly here also it is said that there is, one supreme Lord. There are many others. It is not that they are not others, but they are like in a relationship of, assistance. Right? They are helping hands to the supreme absolute. Right, Neeraj Prabhu? They are helping hands. Why? For example, how many prime ministers do we have in India? One. But how many ministers? There are many ministers, right? But they are under prime minister. Right? It is prime minister who would allocate them as per their capabilities. Right? Similarly, there is one absolute truth, and that one absolute truth, Shri Gandharvika Girdhari, Chetan Mahaprabhu, so there is one absolute truth, there is one prime minister, and that prime minister is allocating different portfolios to people. Right? They are all serving. He says, Maya Dakshena Prakati Suete Sa Characha. That everything is working under my direction. Right? It is very clear. Then, okay, fine. Krishna is saying, Brahmaji is saying, like, are there any other demigods who are talking about Krishna's supremacy? Like, let's see. What do other Vedic devas say about it? This verse we have recited by Brahmaji, right? Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. Someone can read the translation. Navendra Prabhu, you can read. Anadir Adi Govinda. Anadir Adi Govinda means he is the original, supreme original. Sarva Karana is the cause of everything. There is no cause of Krishna, but he is the cause of all other things. Right? So he is the supreme absolute truth. Okay. What does Shivji has to say? Right? And this is from Srimad Bhagavatam, the 4th canto, 24th chapter. Shivji recites Rudra Gita. And he recites this Rudra Gita to whom? No. Huh? Prachetas. Yes, to Prachetas. So who is going to recite this important words from Bhagavatam? Today Tirupati Rao Prabhu has not come. So who will recite? Okay, here. Very nice. Translation.
My dear Lord, you are the of all the source of benediction, the oldest and supreme enjoyer amongst all enjoyers. You are the master of all the world's metaphysical philosophy, for you are the supreme cause of all causes, Lord Krishna. You are the greatest of all religious principles, the supreme mind, and you have the brain which is never checked by any condition. Therefore, I tell you after my of sciences.
So Shivji is paying obeisances. Obeisances means pranam to Krishna. here Shivji actually requests all the Prachitas to pray and worship Krishna. And Shivji is highlighting that how Krishna is supreme. He is the topmost of all bestowers of benediction. He is the supreme enjoyer. He is the cause of everything. He is the supreme, right? All the religious principles depend on him. And I pay my obeisances onto Krishna. He ends up saying. So Shivji also accepts that Krishna is the supreme. Right? So, yes. So we understand that Krishna, the supreme God, the supreme controller is Krishna. That impersonal or Paramatma forms are coming from Krishna. Right? There are many assistants to Krishna, but he is the supreme absolute truth, original supreme absolute truth. And all the demigods are aligned with the fact. It is not that they have competition. Earlier we saw a slide, everyone pulling each other's leg for supremacy. That corporate style doesn't work there. There it's like there is a clear understanding that he is the supreme and we are together serving him or assisting him. Right? Now we also discussed that supreme has to be what? Attractive, right? Otherwise, how will he's saying that Suhrida Sarva Bhutana, that I am the well-wishing friend of all the living entities. Right? Now let's see few historical pastimes which shows that actually he is most attractive. You know, what does Krishna mean? All attractive. Wow. There, all of you are not novice. You have some understanding of the scriptures. So yes, Krishna means all attractive. So let's see a couple of pastimes from scriptures that this middle picture. Are you able to find what this is? Which pastime? Krishna is being fed. Putna. Putna was who was Putna? Rakshasi. Huh? What was the intention of Putna? To kill Krishna. And how old was Krishna at that time? Few days. Right? So, and Putna's intention was how to kill Krishna. What did she do? She threw poison. She wanted to feed Krishna poison. And what did Krishna do? Krishna not only drank milk, but Krishna took the life air out of Putna. Right? And then Putna fall flat. Putna fall flat. And after Putna died, Krishna is Krishna. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Right? Whether Krishna comes in a form of small child or he is in the war field of Kurukshetra, he is always the supreme personality. That is why he is Krishna. Right? So when Putna died, when Krishna killed Putna, what destination should Krishna award to Putna? What do you think? Where should Putna go? Swarga. Not to hell, but attempting to kill Krishna. See, there are IPC codes. If you are attempting to murder someone, you will be penalized heavily, right? And here you are trying to attempt, like someone attempting to kill, a normal person versus prime minister. There's difference in the, the penalty, the punishment. And this here is a person who tried to kill the supreme absolute truth. So what punishment should be given? It is not simple. Yeah, see, Ranjit Prabhu is also not. So, someone said Swarga, someone said liberation. See, none of you said that Krishna sent her to Naraka. Right?
But there is something beyond Krishna gave to her. Not just liberation, not merging, not swarga, something more attractive. And that is, otherwise, how could he be attracted? And this particular words attracted the mind of a self-realized person like Sukadeva Goswami. When Sukadeva Goswami walked into the forest, there was some, Vyasdev said, I have to teach him Bhagavatam. How can I attract him? And he made people recite this verse. So who is going to recite this important verse? This verse which attracted the mind of Sukadeva Goswami. You know who is Sukadeva Goswami? Sukadeva Goswami is one who recited Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. You know what? Saptah hota hai. 1 week. So that Bhagavatam was recited by Sukadeva Goswami. And this is the verse which attracted the mind of Sukadeva Goswami towards Krishna. This is such an important verse. Shanmukh Prabhu will recite this special word. Take the mic from the devotee. Shanmukh Prabhu. Okay.
Aho bhakyam sthanakala kutam jagamsaya payaya apyashadvi Leve gatim yatri uchitam tatoyam kamavadayalum saranam bradenam.
Someone else can.
Alas, how shall I take shelter to one more person who granted the position of mother towards Sri Devi Purna, although she was unfaithful and she prepared deadly poison to be sucked from her mouth.
Thank you. What's your name?
Abbas.
Abbas. So in fact for Abbas Prabhu. So you know what does the verse say? Leve gatim dhatri uchitam tato ananya. What better position than dhatri? What is dhatri? Mother, nursing mother. It's not just liberation, it's not merging, it's not swarga. Krishna gave her position so that she can become his mother in Golok Vrindavan. That this verse, can anyone be more merciful than Krishna? Yeah. Someone who is, what can we think of doing? Right? We can just be disobedient to Krishna. That's maximum we can do, right? That's all. But here, someone who wanted to kill, this is the destination he awarded to her. And it is said that who can be more merciful than the Supreme Personality of God, Krishna? And how will he not be? Because he is our Father. Can Father, ever think of something bad for kids? No. Similarly, Krishna. Right? So, just one more example. Who is going to recite this Sanskrit verse? And this is again from Srimad Bhagavatam, but from the story of Maharaj Amrish. So there is a very famous Muni in our Vedic scriptures who tends to get angry very fast. Durvasa. So Durvasa, if you remember in Mahabharata also Durvasa Muni came. When the Pandavas were sent to exile, Duryodhana, are brought to send Durvasa Muni to the camp of Pandavas. Specifically when the Pandavas had already had their name, right? Shadam. And then Durvasa Muni will say, I want to eat. Not only I have thousands of disciples also your age. And they are living in forest. and they had Akshay Patra there. And then who came to protect them? Krishna. And here also in this pastime of Maharaj Amrish, there is an incident where Maharaj Amrish fasted on Ekadashi. So last week we had Ekadashi, right? And it was not just a normal Ekadashi, it was Nirjal Ekadashi. And Madhukant Prabhu gave class on Nirjal Ekadashi. It's like most of the time we see everyone who will do Nirjal Ekadashi, they'll try to rest. And I think so all the volunteers were doing Nirjal Ekadashi and everyone was serving here. You see. So that is what devotees are, selflessly serving to help others. So we are thankful to all the volunteers and Madhukant will clap for them. So here Maharaj Amrish was doing Nirjal Ekadashi. And when you do Ekadashi, you have to break the fast at a particular time slot. If you don't break your fast, your Ekadashi will not have any value. So there is a Paran time. Next day you have to break fast at a particular time. Now that Paran time was going, right? And Durvasa Muni was invited, for Prasadam. So when the time was passing, Amrish Maharaj would have to break the fast. So what did Amrish Maharaj do? Because if you eat before your guest, that is not good. And that too when you have guests like Durvasa Muni. Who can dare to, right? So, but Amrish Maharaj had a situation where he had no choice. So in order to respect the guest, what Amrish Maharaj did was he drank water. Because drinking water is like, breaking fast and also not insulting anyone, your guest. And it is not that you had your meals, but you have broken your fast. But Durvasa Muni, as he is, got angry. Not just normal anger. His anger was he wanted to kill Maharaj Amrish. And Maharaj Amrish was a great devotee of Krishna. And what did Durvasa Muni do? He created a demon. And Krishna saw that this is what Durvasa Muni is doing. And then what did Krishna do? Does anyone know? What is Krishna's favorite weapon? Sudarshan. So in Jagannath Puri, what do we see? There is Jagannath, there is Baldev, sister Subhadra, and Sudarshan is also there. So Krishna always keeps Sudarshan besides. So here Krishna sent Sudarshan. So in Kurukshetra war, what happened? After the war, there was little discussion between two brothers that who killed most of this, who was the better of the discussion was between whom? Arjun and Bhima. They were saying, I killed all the Kauravas. Arjun said, I killed most of the strong warriors. It was I. And then Krishna said, let's go to someone who saw the entire battlefield. And who was that person? Barbaric. So they went to Barbaric. Barbaric said that I only saw Sudarshan all across the battle. It was just Sudarshan. And that is reiterated even in Bhagavatam, in the first canto, where it is said that Krishna actually sent everyone back home with his glance. Right? So it was Sudarshan. So here Sudarshan was sent by Krishna to kill the demon. The demon was killed immediately. And after that, Sudarshan, what did the Sudarshan do? When Sudarshan is sent, he does the full job. He will not do partial thing. So what did he do? He was after Durvasa. And then Durvasa Muni ran. He ran to Brahma. Brahma said, Sudarshan is behind you, I cannot do anything. He went to Mahesh, Shiva. Shiva said, Baba, I am no one, how can I interfere? So finally he went to Krishna. Krishna said, Aham Bhakta Paradhino. I am a servant of my devotees. My servant, So when Krishna entered Kurukshetra in Bhagavad Gita, How did he enter? By killing many soldiers, or how did he enter? How did Krishna enter Kurukshetra? On the chariot. Sarthi, he was like a driver. Whose driver? Driver of his devotee. And when in Bhagavatam also Krishna enters, he enters again as a chariot driver of Arjuna, and they were chastising Ashwatthama. So Krishna is always, although he's Bhoktaram Yagatapsam, Sarvalok Maheshwar, but he is Suhridaya Sarvabhutana. He's loving friend of everyone. And Krishna always demonstrated that. So then Krishna said, Durvasa ji, I cannot help you. Unfortunately, I cannot help you. The only person who can help you is Maharaj Amrish. So then what did Durvasa, you saw, you see what is Durvasa Muni doing here? Prostrate, he is giving prostrate obeisances to Maharaj Amrish. Maharaj Amrish is Bhakta. So this Bhakti Janapriya and Bhakta Paradina Krishna. So who is going to now recite? So I gave some background of this verse. So who is going to recite this? Ranjit Bro? Or Ranjit, give to Ranjit Bro. Okay, our give to our students. The Sanskrit verse. Huh? What is your name? Anjali. Anjali. The grey button, just press that.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha Ahanta Bhakta Paradna Aswatantra Ivadvaja Sadubir Grasta Hydrao Bhaktair Bhakta Janapriya. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said to Brahmana, I am completely under the control of my devotees. Indeed, I am not all independent. Because my devotees are completely devoid of material desires, I sit only within the coals of their heart. What to speak of my devotee? Even those who are devotees of my devotee are very dear to me.
Wow, very good. Thank you very much. So this is such again a nectarian verse from Bhagavad. Right? What does the verse say? Aham Bhakta Paradino. What is? I am completely under the control of my devotees. And then here, Aswatantra. Brahmani says he is independent. If he is supreme, original, supreme, absolute truth, he is independent. Sarva Karana Karana. But here, Krishna is a loving God. What he is saying? I am not independent. I am under the control of my devotees. Is he actually under the control? It is out of his love for his devotees. He says that, right? Because Krishna can tolerate if someone speaks ill about Krishna, but he cannot tolerate if someone speaks ill about his devotee. So Durvasa Muni not only spoke ill about Amrish Maharaj, Durvasa Muni wanted to kill Amrish Maharaj. So Krishna cannot tolerate that. And Krishna immediately sends Sudarshan. And he's saying, Sadhu ke grasta hridayo. I am always residing in the heart of my devotees. And what to talk about my devotees? He says, Bhaktir Bhakta Janapriya. I am even dear to the devotee of my devotee. So for example, if you are, by chance, there is a company and the owner of that company is devotee, and somehow that owner of the company is very happy with your work, so you will become dear to Krishna. So if you, and that is why it is always said, if you serve a devotee, Krishna becomes more happy than you directly serve Krishna. Service is the first thing which makes Krishna accessible. Right? So that is where we saw how Krishna is so merciful, how Krishna is so loving, caring to his devotees. That makes him the most attractive, and that is what makes him, as a loving God, empowering God, not an authoritative, not rude, not proud, expert. No, he's loving. It's out of love. It's not out of fear that we go to Krishna. No. Okay, so let's talk about some of the practical tips. So, how can we be a good leader? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, "Yad yad acharati shrestha tat tat eve tarojana sayat pramanam kurute lokastha anupayate." That whatever you do, you have to do it nicely. You have to become a nice leader because everyone will see you. You have to become a nice person. If you are a father, you are telling to your children that you don't do this, but they don't learn from ears. They learn from eyes. They will see what you are doing. If you are saying you have to be very kind, you have to speak politely, and at that same time you are eating chicken. Yeah, my dad is talking about polite and be humble, and he's eating chicken. He's killing animals. So what will he understand? Can you be humble and polite and loving by killing animals? No. That is all artificial humility. So we have to become representative of Lord, right? We have to, act like we should represent what our Lord is. So see good in team members and fan them, like Fortuna. What did Krishna saw in him? Her intention of feeding. He didn't saw that. He didn't see that Fortuna is come here to kill. So there is always good in some. There may be our sort of tendency is to find faults. That is a difficult proposition. Better served than being an arrogant boss. Like there is a story of four Kumaras, right, and Vishnu Bhagwan. So that we have to understand. Krishna is always there to serve his devotees, and he's never arrogant. Saying Aham Bhakta Paradhi. And be with people in their bad times. There is a story of Gajendra. When Gajendra was being attacked by crocodile, and who came to protect Krishna? Because Gajendra came in his previous life. He was a devotee. Because of some fault, he took the body of Gajendra. But and that is the power of bhakti. Then, for example, you have done from IIT or you have done from AIMS, your medical science, whatever. But if you die and take another birth, you will show your degree of previous life that I did from IIT Kharagpur. Now I will go to MIT and do my PhD. Or you will do A for apple, B for ball. But spirituality is one thing. Let neha brikamanashosti pratyavayo navidipte swalpam apayasya dharmasya trayate meheto bhaya. Even if you do slight spiritual thing, that will always carry with you. And that is what happened with Gajendra. He would remember all the prayers. When he was in problem, he recited Krishna came to protect. Happiness or distress, face it as a team, like So Krishna is always there to protect you, right? And he helped, right? And there is lot more to learn by this, and which we are going to help you in what by the level 2 of the elections. So how to worship that Supreme Lord? How do you worship Supreme Lord? If Krishna is the Lord, how do you worship him? By chanting. Okay. So by service. Right? By hearing about him, yes. By hearing Gita and Bhagavatam, yes. Very good. Yes. Of this, what is the most important? Chanting. Naam Sankirtan. Chanting. Chanting is the most important service also. Chanting is also service. There is no service more important than chanting of his names. Right? And we saw, this is the verse we recite every time. प्रत्ययाध्यायतो विष्णु त्रेतायां नियमितो मखे द्वापरे परिचर्यायां कलो तदहरि कीर्तना. There were different processes differently, but in Kali Kalo tadhari kirtana. In Kali the only process for worshipping Krishna is Hari Kirtan. Right? And what is the Hari Kirtan? It is Shodhishka Kali Kalmasha Nashna. Tata Paratharopaya Sarvedeshu Krishyate. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So these 16 names composed of 32 syllables are the only means to counteract the evil effects of Kali Yuga. Kali Kalmasha Nashna. Tata Paratharopaya in all the Vedas. It is said to cross the ocean of nescience, there is no alternative but to chant the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So out of you, this thing we have repeated many times. So out of you now, who all are chanting regularly, at least one round. Very nice. Okay, any question from today's session? Yeah, we give the mic to them.
What was good thing in like Krishna?
Yeah, you have to ask Krishna. What did Krishna say in him? You know, Krishna saw only one thing. Who would come to feed milk? Mother. Breastfeeding is done by mother. Krishna saw that she has come to feed me. That is what Krishna saw. Because of which he gave her the destination. So what do we learn from this? Yes. And Krishna, you know, why? Why? Because as human beings, we may end up doing many small mistakes here and there. Right? But when father is there, father will only try to, encourage what is good in you. There will always be mistakes here and there. You learn from the mistakes, but your superiors, they look at what you are good at, and they will try to encourage you on that. And Krishna, as a loving father, he wants to help us, and he's looking for a small opportunity to help us. You do small seva, but seva is not done by killing animals. If you do all this nonsense, then Krishna will not be happy. Because why? Krishna said, Suhrida Sarva Bhutana. Everyone who has body, I am loving. And Krishna, why did Krishna send Sudarshan to after Durvasa? Because he heard another devotee. So if you are, Krishna is loving, Krishna loves everyone. So if you do all these things, then Krishna will not be happy. Right? So basic thing is, the most important thing in order to attract the heart of Krishna is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If we are chanting, then it is like Cheto Darpan Bhagavatam. Your heart will get cleansed gradually. Not immediately, but gradually. And all our sinful tendencies will go up. So what did Krishna do? Krishna, when he sucked, he cleansed everything from Bhuta, all the dirt from Bhuta. When Dhruv Maharaj was small, does everyone know about Dhruv Maharaj? Yeah. Dhruv Maharaj was small, he wanted kingdom bigger than his even grandfather, Brahmaji. So he prayed to Narayan. And then Narayan came. And Dhruva was small, 5 years old. What would he know about Vedas and all? And then what did Narayan do? He placed his conch shell on his head. Just by placing his conch shell, he got all the Vedic knowledge and he started reciting verses. So by sucking Putna's breasts, he took out all the dirt. And how can that same Krishna clean our heart? By Krishna's name. When we take Krishna's name and put him in our heart, then it says Nam Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Om Shuddho Nitya Mukto Abhinnam Nam Namina. There is no difference between Krishna and his name. And Nam Chintamani, it is like touchstone. Can avoid you anything. Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, it is full of consciousness. Om Shuddho, it is Nitya Mukto, can avoid you liberation. So that Krishna who sucked all the dirt away from Putna, that Krishna has now come in the name of Kallo Tadhari Kirtan. Right? Okay. Yeah. So Lavendra Prabhu, pass the mic to Lavendra. No, for everyone else. There's on Zoom also. No?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, I have got one question. Like, Krishna is Govinda, like he is protector of cows, but now a lot of violence happening on cow, right? So like in this past time, Durvasa Muni was attacked by the Sudarshan. So I mean, what Krishna does for, like, especially in this Kalika?
Very nice question. So the same question was asked by Haridas Thakur. You see that picture of Haridas Thakur. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna is carrying Haridas Thakur. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you are liberating everyone. But what is going to happen to these people? So Haridas Thakur, what did he say? What do they say? Haram, haram, right? And in haram, what is the name? And our dear friend, who wrote Ramayana? Who was Valmiki before he became a sadhu? What was his name? Huh? Ratnakar. And he was such a cruel dacoit. Narad Muni came. Narad Muni is our teacher. He is ISKCON preacher. Because why? Our Sampradaya is starting from Brahmaji, and after Brahmaji came Narad Muni. So he is our Guru, Param Guru. So Narad Muni went to Ratnakar, and you know what did Narad Muni? You stop doing all this, you take Ram. This Ratnakar was not even able to chant the name of Ram. At least these people are by default, by mistake or whatever, they are chanting Ram, Ram. And he was not even able to chant name of Ram. Then what did Narad Muni say? You are killing all these people and animals. You chant Mara, 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 Ram, 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 Ram. And that is how he became Valmiki. No, he didn't become Ram. By chanting Ram, you don't become Ram. You become devotee of Ram. Okay. So all these people, in Kali Yuga, Krishna manages. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, these our dear friends, like our colleagues. Who are our colleagues? Jagai and Madai. Right? They are our closest colleagues. Right? We are almost all. So Jagai and Madai, they were drunkards. They were always indulged in all nonsense activities. And Nityanand Prabhu, Balram, what did he do? In Kali Yuga, see Balram, if you even touch Balram in Dwapar Yuga, what will Balram do? Krishna can forgive, but Balram, he would not forgive you. Jamnaji said, no, you cannot take bath. Balram pulled Jamnaji towards himself. There is a ghat known as Cheer Ghat in Vrindavan. Now, in Kali Yuga, when Balram came in the form of Nityananda, Nityananda, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Nityananda, go to each and every home and preach chanting of Hare Krishna. And Nityananda thought that I will preach these Jagai Madai. If they become devotees, then everyone will become devotee. If these rascals can become devotees, then everyone can. So what did Nityananda, and then these brothers, what one of them did? They hit Nityananda. And Nityananda start bleeding. And just by seeing this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu picked up his Sudarshan. And then Nityananda, what did? Nityananda fall in the foot of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu, this is Kali Yuga. If you will become your Sudarshan, everyone will be killed. So please calm down. Please forgive him. So here, Sudarshan is not used. Here, Navendu Prabhu is used for preaching. You are in Sampradaya of Narad Muni. So you have to take this responsibility of preaching, distributing Bhagavad Gita and this knowledge. So that is how Krishna is handling, right, non-devotees. And that is how he is protecting the cow. So we have a Narsimha Mandir in HBR layout. That place where we have temple that was to be used for what, slaughterhouse. So now we have built a good Narsimha Mandir there. Narsimha is, he can manage things, right? He could manage Hiranyakashipu, so he can manage. So that is another example why we all have to become devotee, and that is how. Okay. Anything else? Yeah, all these proposals.
Some question. Then we have a very practical question in daily life. See, most of the times in our work life, we see some sort of toxic bosses, the toxic leaders. So who always be biased, and they just generally tend to be having some favoritism, and they ignore people really who really work well, right? So how, is there any sort of thing that Bhagavad Gita has explained how to handle toxic bosses or toxic leaders?
Full of our scriptures, for example, we were touching upon who? Narasimha Bhagavan, right? Now, from this very past time, we can see Narasimha Bhagavan came for whom? Prahlad. How was Prahlad managed? Was managed by his father, right? Prahlad Maharaj. But how did Prahlad Maharaj approach Hiranyakashipu? He never spoke any bad thing to him. He was always very polite, very courteous. See, Uday Prabhu, you are in your beginning stages of devotional life. And I am also from hardcore corporate world, American corporate. And I can tell you from my own experience, if you start doing your spiritual life sincerely and seriously, Krishna will take care of you. How he will take care of you, you will leave it out here. But for that, you have to become sincere and serious, not anything, but devotional. He has a special favorism for devotees. That is how you can get his attention. Prahlad Maharaj was his devotee. So that is what we have to do. Any other question? Okay, what is your name? This is the last question we take. After the session, you can ask. What is your name? Ashish. Full name Ashish Chaudhary.
Probably we till now one God or many God. Okay, but why we are seeing many religions? If one God, then why we are seeing many religions?
Very nice question. So, if you have to enter into IIT, right? So, how many different type of schools are there? One is CBSE, ICSE, Cambridge, Karnataka Board, Rajasthan Board, UP Board. All these boards are there, right? IIT does not say that only by UP Board you can enter. You can enter through any route. There may be some may be easy, some may be difficult. But why? Because they are different variety of people. So Krishna has given choice to everyone, right? So all these religions are authentic and bona fide religions. I am not talking about so-called because there are many religions and so-called practices which are not bona fide and authorized, right? But there are religions which are bona fide and authorized, and you will understand and learn more about those in level 2 sessions very nicely. Right? So then Prabhupada and Bhaktivinoda Thakur expressed that, right? That Jehovah, Allah, and all, they are representative of God, right? So if they are following, but sometimes Krishna says that Bahunam Jannamante Gyanvan Mam Prabhajan. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samhatma. After many births, you may be doing some other religion, this all, but until unless you come to the platform of Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Samhatma Sudurlava, very rare. So all these are bona fide paths. For example, if you have to go to Delhi from here, there are different paths. You can walk, you can take a cycle, you can take a motorcycle, right? You can take a car, you can take a bus, you can take train, you can fly. Right? How much time will it take if you walk? So you understand this. There are different religions, different paths. But if you have to go fastest, that is, Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityaji, leave all varieties of religion. Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. Aham Tvam Sarva Bhapebhyo Mokshishyami Ma Suchaha. Do not doubt this. Leave all varieties of religions and just surrender unto me. And how to surrender, he says, Manmana Bhav Mad Bhakto Madhya Jimam Namaskuru Amirashyasi Devam. Right? So he says that worship me, love me. Yeah.
We say Vasudeva Kutumbakam, but people are saying like we are all, they are not all. Why they are dividing people like religion and all that thing? But we are thinking like Vasudeva Kutumbakam means everything. Every people are like all
Family of Vasudeva.
family. Right? But they are dividing people in something else.
Very nice question. And that is why, Ashish ji, you are touching what Prabhupada also touched. There are many Indians who say we are Indians. Vedic scriptures only belong to us. It is our proprietary. These Australians and these Americans, Europeans, Russians, they cannot practice Vedic culture. But it is, when Krishna says, Suhridaya Sarva Bhutana, does he say only Indians? Where is it written? Nowhere written. It includes Russian, American, Australian, everyone. And Prabhupada, that is what he did. He went all around the world and he said, I am going to build a house in which everyone can. Vasudeva. Very nice. So, yes, there are other people, and that is why you have to understand this and preach. That is what we have to do. We have to give the right message in the society. And that will only help if you understand it, systematically, take it to people. Very nice question. So in the interest of time, we'll end the session. If you have any other question, you can bring to Madhukant Prabhu or myself after the session. Okay, so next session will be the ultimate perfection. Now comes the important thing. And this is level 2 sessions. So next session is going to be our 9th session, which is last session. And after that, we are planning for a outing, a picnic, a spiritual retreat. We are planning to go to Deva and Guru. I will explain. But after this, we don't want to leave you, just trailer dikha diya, movie to dikhao. Right? We have shown you the trailer. Right, Devendra Prabhu? We have to show you the movie. Movie is this, level 2 Bhakti Vriksha. So what is this? We get together in more personal and interactive way like family. Right? And practical application of Bhagavad Gita. Day to day, what you do, with the small settings you discuss. And these are very systematic modules. And they are basically used across, systematic study of Prabhupada books, focus on individual spiritual growth. You may have some problem, other ones some problem. Discussion, it is discussion and not like classes like this one, one way, not monologue.
better understanding of Vedic scriptures followed all over the world.
It's called engages in various services. You get opportunity also. Like most of you are saying today, like how you can attract Krishna by service. So you can get opportunity. Now Janmashtami is coming. Who all of you would like to serve in Janmashtami? Many of, almost all of you. So that is the way. You know, it's only through Bhakti Vriksha that you can serve in Janmashtami. Right? So we'll arrange that for all of you.
Okay? And it will be once in a week on Saturdays. And we are arranging, we are giving good opportunity. So who here, we are splitting this in 3 groups primarily. One is, you know, like physical, you all are coming. And there's some people who are attending it online also. So we have an online option also for people who have attended online. But that I would say will be our last option. We will prefer you attending it face-to-face physically, offline. Right? That is where you get 100%. Right? Online is, you all know. You have attended many corporate meetings and trainings and how your kids are studying online. So I don't have to tell you. So we would prefer you attending it offline, right? And we have very experienced, leaders. So Sachidanand Vigrah Prabhu, you please come here. Sachidanand Vigrah Prabhu, you please come here. He is our Bhakti Vriksha leader for English. And he has done his post-graduation from IIT Kanpur. You please come here. From IIT Kanpur, you know. So he's the one, come here. He's shy. He will be taking the English offline, right? Now you already saw how humble he is. But when you talk to him, he has a lot of spiritual knowledge. He knows Bhagavad and Bhagavad very nice. He's married. He has a small daughter also. And his house is just behind this, our center, right? So initially we'll do it here, but gradually then we'll shift to house. It's a very nice setting, right? You can, those who are, how many of you are interested in English offline? Raise your hand. Or you are interested, you will come to his house or here, right? Wherever it is. So it will be, and who are interested in Hindi? Hindi. नहीं, both नहीं. दोनों नाव में पैर मत रखो. हिंदी मतलब हिंदी. So our friend Tata Murari Prabhu, he's engineer. Again, very experienced. Mataji is Rati Prada Chitra Mataji, who takes care of our children. Very, very experienced, and he will be assisted by our Praveen Prabhu and others. Right? So he also, Sachidanand Vigrah Prabhu will also be assisted. But you know, again, an engineer, very experienced devotee, practicing Krishna consciousness for last 10 years. Right? So he will take the Hindi batch. Right? So Ranveer Prabhu, Yoni Mataji, I already saw your name. Right? So others who are interested, you will raise one more time. Hindi wala. You also. Okay. And rest, if you are interested in online, you can enroll. So we have a registration desk there. You can register for your Bhakti Vriksha, whichever you want. Okay. In the corner, in the blue kurta, Abhishek Prabhu is sitting. Abhishek Prabhu is the one who will take the online also. Right? Abhishek Prabhu's daughter is one who is going to sing today, and you will be all mesmerized. But she is the one who sang for the first time in Aarti. She is a Kirtani. Now here comes the retreat. The retreat is where we are going to Devrayan Durga. And there, you know, it's like a one-day retreat, 90 kilometers from here. Visit to ancient temples and darshan of Lord Narasimha. So there is Bhog Narasimha and Yog Narasimha, protector of the land and protector of all of us. Right? There will be a lot of fun activities, games for all of you. Like melodious kirtan, sumptuous prasadam, retreat for the soul. And we will start our journey from here, IBC. We'll own 2 buses, right? Very comfortable buses. We'll try to start from here at 5:30, right? And we'll come back to this place because almost all of you are from nearby places. So we'll start and end here, right? Breakfast, lunch, dinner will be all arranged by us, right? And it is on 2nd of July, Saturday, from 5:30. We should be back by 9:30, right? And so it is costing us, like, we have to pay for the bus, the place where, and the prasadam, right? So we will be requesting you to donate 750 rupees per head. Children, who don't want any seat in the bus, they don't need to pay, right? Anyone below 5 years who don't want a seat, consider for. So who all of you are interested in this yatra, this retreat, right? many of you. So what you have to do now is to go to Abhishek Prabhu. Abhishek Prabhu, please come here. You show yourself to them. He is our online Bhakti Vriksha leader and also the Yatra in charge, retreat in charge. Abhishek Prabhu, please come here. Please come here. Besides Prabhupada, you stand in blue kurta, you know. So he's our retreat coordinator. So the number we will be sharing, the number we have shared in the group is his number. He will, you can. So please today you go and register it. For payment, you have many options, whatever you probably will explain. Okay. So now we move on to our chanting. We are already a little late, right? So we do. So we'll start. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Shri Krishna Shri Krishna Shri Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram
So now we will have a very small session from all the kids. So with a round of applause, we welcome all the kids here. Anybody going to recite any shloka?
Chapter 10, verse 8. Om Sarvasya Prabhu Mata Sarvam Pravastade Iti Patva Bhajena Buddha Vasamandita. The origin of all creation, everything proceeds from me. The wise who know this perfectly worship me with faith, and devotion. Now we are going to say the Savitar Shloka of Lord Balram.
Gita, and in parallel, we will be running the Aarti will be going on. Once the Aarti is over, so every time actually we interrupt the Kirtan to announce that Mataji will be offering the flowers from the website. So once the Aarti is over, all the Mataji they can offer the flowers from the right side, and all the gents, the pros can offer the flowers from the left side. And as we finish the Aarti, Abhishek Prabhu is there at that corner so he is accepting the registration for the entry and the registration for the level 2 as well. So please, as well there, Prabhu is sitting in that first corner.
Vrindige